Welcome to Gifted and Guided. I'm your host, Naila. Around here, we're all just figuring it out. Slightly confused, walking imperfectly towards purpose, but doing it with grace. My hope is that you take something from this episode and remember, you are doing your best. But the key word is doing. Keep showing up for yourself and don't overthink it. Drop a comment, share your thoughts, because your voice matters here too. All right, let's jump in. I packed my crop tops and heels and left with a baby and a Bible. Oh, this is going to be such a juicy story. Today's guest is Yolande, my fellow Caribbean sister from Haiti and actor, model, content creator, lover of food and travel, and a mom and wife who's lived through more than most people can imagine. And her one-liner alone tells us that we're in for a ride. So, Yolande, welcome. I'm so excited to get into this story and want you to take us back to that moment prior to you leaving with the baby in the Bible.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I would say I was about a year out from graduating college,
Mm-hmm.
and I was still kind of trying to figure things out for myself. I originally was pre-med when I went to college. I came out with a degree in human resource management, but I didn't have a desire to actually work in that
Work in
field.
HR.
I just
Mm-hmm.
needed something to graduate with. I
Mm.
had a lot of sports broadcasting experience under my belt, and I was getting gigs, but they weren't really flowing to the point where I could just depend on that income coming in. And I also was in a relationship that no longer served me. Like, it was stagnant, it kind of got a little toxic.
Mm.
I was definitely in a place where I needed to figure out what was I even doing. Now that I wasn't in that school bubble that we all have been through, now it's
Yeah.
the real world. No one gives you any tips on how to navigate and how you figure things out. So, um,
That's true. Especially because everything is like based on a schedule. It's
mhm,
like you're just flowing and uh-huh.
yes, yes. And then something happened. It was actually February of 2018. A relative of mine had passed away, and um I wanted to support my cousin because it was her aunt and she lost someone really near and dear to her. And I was in a place where I felt as though I could take a one-way trip to LA just to hang with her for the summer. And that's what it
Yeah.
was. It was just supposed to be me supporting someone that I loved who needed, some extra loving at that time. And I said, why not? And I
Hmm.
went, and little did I know I would be coming back to New Jersey with a baby and a Bible.
Wow. Okay. Wait. So you left in the way you place it. So you left in 2018 to go to LA. And what year did you come back with the
I
baby
I
in the
came back
Bible?
I came back to Jersey, like I'm now stationed here in 2022.
Okay. So walk us through that time frame, like 2018 to then leaving with the baby in the Bible. And let's not forget the crop tops and the heels, because I want to know, like, so specific, but okay.
So at that time, I didn't know what LA had for me. All I knew was I was just gonna be a buddy. And so I didn't know what LA had. So I was like, let me be ready to go out. It's Hollywood. Like I didn't have any plans necessarily. It's not like I wanted to go and go get seen and be the next star. That wasn't it at all. I was just down with the vibes. So
Right.
and it was summertime. So um I didn't have life stuff figured out, but I just knew that I couldn't stay in Jersey. So
And why is that?
it just kind of grew stagnant. You know, when you just feel like you're not growing, nothing's really happening. It's very much of the same old. And I just feel I'm a strong advocate of leaving the hometown.
Mm,
You know, if you
mm-hmm.
can, if you have the means to, if there's an opportunity, I'm very into change locations, breathe a different air. You never
Mm,
know what can come out of it. Like,
that's
I
true.
had went to Chicago for a summer when I first graduated, and I had a internship with a Big Ten network, and they wanted me to move. They wanted me
Oh.
to take a job, take a relocation package, and just be there. And being in Chicago, I realized I didn't want to move to Chicago.
Mm,
It was awesome, great
yeah.
opportunity, but wasn't for me.
Mm,
But LA was. LA felt right. The timing just worked out right. And as soon as I
mm,
went to LA, uh, I was immersed into a church out there. And I was surrounded by people who were really on fire about God, on fire about walking with Him, and the fact that He wasn't just this being that we just speak at. It's a being that actually works hand in hand with us, and He hears us, and knows the desires of our hearts, and He wants them for us. It's just about timing and alignment, and just really being open to what His will was. And I
mm,
grew up in Catholic school, like,
mm-hmm.
and so it was just strange that it was that time in my life where I actually found people who were on fire for Jesus. You would think that being in Catholic school, you would find more of the same, but
Right. That's
definitely not.
interesting. That wasn't the
Hmm.
case. Okay. So maybe being in the real world is what activated that within you because you saw the reality of life and you had no choice but to rely on your relationship with
For
God.
sure, for
Hmm.
sure.
Okay.
So, from there, I don't know, maybe you can guide me a little bit. I don't want to ramble. I want to stay where where we're going.
Huh?
Um,
So you find this community and you start going to church, um, and really immersing yourself in Los Angeles at the
right.
time. So where how does the baby get into the picture?
Okay. So I actually met my husband in this church, and
Oh, okay.
and it's I would say it was like a Hollywood church, so a lot of people who are in the industry were involved there. He's a musician himself,
Mm,
and it was just full of people who were full of purpose and full of, hey, be bold and step forward and try. So, I was working out. I got a trainer. People encourage you like, hey, get some headshots. It wouldn't hurt. Hey, try out for this audition. Hey, check out this agency. Like everyone, and I would say, I don't know, you might have seen this. Black Hollywood is pretty small.
yeah.
Hollywood's big, but Black Hollywood's small. So
Mm-hmm.
once you like get to knowing people and people start seeing your capabilities, they just plug you in. You get plugged in here, you get plugged in there. And so,
Yeah.
um,
Relationships.
right, relationships are built like kind of easily as long as you're sharp and you're good at what you do. People plug
Mm-hmm.
you in. And so I was working on like different sets, like I was doing commercials. There were TV shows. I was on set with RuPaul. I did like McDonald's commercials. Like, and this wasn't me in front of the camera yet. Like, this is just me
Hmm.
working in production because that's my background. Um,
Oh, okay. And what were you doing in production?
I would be a production assistant. I've production coordinated, maybe like a little bit of set design, little things like that.
Really?
So
Okay.
my background was in sports broadcasting, so I already
Okay.
had a taste of what the hustle and bustle was. We just took it to another level, took to a different side of the industry that wasn't
Yes.
sports. So when I met my husband at the church, he actually encouraged me to hop onto his talent agency. And once I did that, my first audition was the first commercial I booked. The baby got
Mm.
booked with me, and
Mm.
it was a Google commercial, and it was supposed to just be like a regular Google Pixel commercial. And then I get an email the day after of shooting saying, actually, we want to air it during the Super Bowl. Are you okay with that? We need to fill
Wow.
out new paperwork if you're okay with it. Like it just turned into something completely different. And
Wow.
it
So
was,
suddenly.
oh yeah, absolutely. It was definitely that walk, that jump of faith, that knowing that I kind of don't have it all figured out, but I know that if I know who's leading me, I know who put the desires of my heart in me, I know that I can't be led astray. And
Hmm.
that was just the idea that just kept pushing me forward in my walk in LA. So
But wait, so you're in front of the camera at this point. So when did that transition happen of you going from being behind to then saying, "Oh, let me try this thing out, in front of the camera and bring my family along." We still skipped the part about you having a baby,
baby,
but yeah.
oh my gosh. You know what? As you can see, it happened so fast. You see, I'm
Yeah.
skipping over it like it's just, it's whatever. No, it happened really quickly. Met my husband September, no, like summer of 2019. We got together, and then like a year later, the baby was born, like December of 2020, in the middle of
Wow.
quarantine. It happened really quickly. Like, he knew what he
Yeah.
wanted and he was just forging through. And I was like, he's a man about his business. Who, like,
Right.
let's go. Like,
Right. We love
let's
that.
let's
Talk
make it
about
happen.
leading. Lead the
Right.
way.
But I would say going from behind the camera to in front of the camera, I would say it was just God empowering me. It was
Mm.
definitely like I had to go through seasons of just really trusting in myself.
And what
There's a
did
little
that look like?
it meant showing up boldly into the experiences that were brought to me. I would say one of the gifts that we're gonna speak about later, a gift that I realized I had was just a grace with people. I had a grace with um just kind of navigating, because there were opportunities that were falling on my lap that people would be in LA for at least 5 years to even get a little bit close to. It was kind of odd. Like friends would tell me like, how did you get to go to this? How did you get to go to that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to do blah blah blah, and like I didn't even get it, I couldn't even entertain the idea. And
Yeah.
so um I started looking in those rooms and saying, there's no difference between these celebrities and me. The only difference is time. This is their time. It's their moment. It's only a matter of time until it's mine. And I'm being strengthened, I'm being built up to be able to withstand that time. Because,
Yeah.
when you're just expanding your capacity, you can you can get something and then lose it. You know what they say
Oh.
about lottery winners? Like they
Mm.
win the lottery and then they blow it.
Yeah. That's so
Oh, and
true.
that's
Wow.
just because they weren't developed up here. So I wasn't in the business of rushing through anything. I didn't want any opportunity that wasn't for me
Mm.
at that time, because it could have ruined me.
Yeah, it could have. And how did you develop that discernment in the moment, especially in a city where it's like all opportunities are welcomed and people just say yes to almost everything? You have to learn how to say no, but you have to have the courage to say no. So, how did you build up to that point, especially at a time where you were just figuring things out?
I would say being grounded in that church community I was talking about. I was really grounded. I was really tapped into, I was in Bible studies. Like we were praying with each other. Like, I really, I will say at that time I could have even said I was a little hyper spiritual at that time. It was like I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of over the top with it. Now I've kind of balanced back out. So now I can be more practical. but you know, you were always looking for a sign, like, oh, that was a sign from God, or like something like
Right.
that balloon is blue. That must be God trying to talk to me. Like it was crazy. It was definitely a hyper spiritual time, but like you can't I feel like God can't fault that because at least you're seeking him. There are people that
Right.
aren't even seeking him, they're seeking the money or they're
Mm.
seeking fame. They're seeking
Yes.
the next thing. But at least people who are higher spiritual are looking for him. And he may
Mm-hmm.
not be actually speaking at that moment, but I think the
Mm-hmm.
key was knowing that, okay, I'm here for a reason. Because if I'm not supposed to be here, he wouldn't put me here. I wouldn't be in this room. So, an example, I was at the Wearable Art Gala. I was able to get connected to um, Miss Tina Knowles.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like kind of fangirling on the inside. I had a fitting. We had costumes to put on. It was the year that Beyonce did The Lion King, so they were celebrating it that
Oh,
year. So we had
okay.
these beautiful African garments, and Miss Tina is like fitting me with her own hands. She's literally wrapping the tape measure around my waist, and I'm just like
Mm.
standing here like this is insane. Like what am I even doing here? But like once I was in the room at and the event was going on, it was like, I'm supposed to be here. Like I am in purpose. Like I am here to see. There's something for me to see here, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just the beginning of breaking that veil of like, hey, stop. There's no distinction. Like don't make this degree of separation between you and these
Mm.
people.
Mm.
You know,
Right, because
and
we're
I
all human.
right, we're all humans,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like in this day and age, the veil has really been pulled to the
Oh,
side in
has
a
it?
major way. So I
Especially with the shift in celebrity culture, then you have influencer culture, and now influencer culture is changing completely.
for sure.
So, yeah, 100%. And I think to that point of being in the space and having to see something, maybe there's a chance that you're supposed to be there for someone else, right? And be a vessel for them. Like, we never know why we're in a room, and sometimes it's not about us or about what we're going to receive, but more so about who we're going to support or impact. And it may not make sense in that moment, but a few years later down the line, it probably will. So that's really interesting. You're here, and this is like post baby, right?
Not yet. This was all pre-baby.
Oh,
This was all pre-baby.
pre-baby. Okay, got you.
Baby came in quarantine time,
Got you. So this
COVID.
is
Yeah, it was
earlier.
like 2020. It was crazy. Um I was pregnant all like all up into like what we went into lockdown like March of 2020 and
Mm-hmm.
then found out I was pregnant like weeks later. And then
Hmm.
another mini midlife crisis. Like, what is even going on? I'm in LA with a baby. My family's in Jersey. I'm with my man at the time. And I was like, all right, this kind of took a turn. I always valued having a family. To be
Mm-hmm.
clear, I always wanted to be a mom. I just didn't think that now would be the time. But honestly,
Hmm.
it was great being pregnant during lockdown. I didn't have any responsibilities. No one's asking me to go to work. Like
Hmm.
everyone is supposed to be inside, and it worked out in that way. But I felt as though I was afraid that that was the end for me.
Oh,
I was
wow.
afraid that having a baby meant okay, career out the window. Like,
Hmm.
no more chasing this Hollywood stuff. It's time to settle down and like make it make sense. And once again, God came through and showed me this is only the beginning for you.
Hmm.
And he showed out because I've done like the biggest boom in my career was post baby. I've done the most
Hmm.
traveling post baby. Like
Wow.
she's already been on like 4 cruises and she's four. She's literally four.
Wow.
So literally like things just opened up just because I was just open to it. I was just willing to flow with the ebb and flow of life, really. And
Really? What do you think changed?
I think there is a boldness in me by that time. Like when you
Mm.
have a baby, I don't know for other women, but for me, you can't tell me nothing. I held a kid inside me for 9 months. You know, I had a C-section. Like, it was a little traumatic, but it was a whole thing. I went through something really badass, and so that's like
Mm.
my power nowadays. Like, I have two more now. I have three girls, and every time I get through another pregnancy, I'm just like, I don't want to cuss on here, but
Yeah.
less and less F's I give
Mm.
nowadays. Like, you can't tell me not a thing. If you're gonna tell me
Mm.
no, I get no's every day. My toddler tells me no every second of every day. She doesn't want to eat anything I give her. She doesn't want this. I can take a no. It's
Mm.
just, if something's for me, I can walk boldly into it because I know it's for me. And it's just a
Right.
shift. Like, it was literally just a shift in my mind of just knowing that there's no one else like you. You are the one and only you. You are the only one who has this specific set of qualities, who views the world in this specific way, who can edify a generation in your on your own special words. Like, there is no one
Hmm.
else who can do it like me.
But I think a lot of people get caught up in that and trying to figure out exactly what it is about them that stands out because maybe they don't know themselves. Maybe they're in a position of like, well, what is it about me that people see that I don't see? Or maybe I don't value the little things enough to recognize that that's actually a superpower.
Mhm.
So, to your point, to be able to get to that point, that's a blessing.
Mhm.
And I feel like your experience throughout your journey it prepped you for that. I feel like motherhood was that peaking point of, oh yeah, I'm gonna take this and run with it. But it sounds like you have been developing that muscle for some time, especially with the rooms that you were in the opportunities coming your way, understanding what's for you, what's not for you, having that discernment. Like it feels like it's just been this constant uh, it's just a path that you've been on.
You're not lying. I'm glad you mentioned it because I would say I had to figure out my superpower early on because of
Hmm.
sports broadcasting world.
Hmm.
Sports broadcasting world is very male and very white. And I had to show up and show out essentially because we have to work 10 times harder to
Hmm.
get at the same level,
Right.
And I made at that time when I was doing sports broadcasting in college, I made it a point to learn every position. Not
Hmm.
everyone did the same thing, but me, I stepped into every single role at least 3 times.
Hmm.
And by that, I mean directing a broadcast. I mean standing in front of the camera and being the reporter. I mean running the clock, making graphics, you know, all the stuff that goes to making a production. I stood in every single position. And then when I got invited to Chicago by the Big Ten Network, one of the reasons they brought me on and they told me they were really impressed that I've been in every single role. Everyone else had a specialty,
Hmm.
but
Wow.
me, I was able to proudly say, like, I just need to choose at this point. I've done everything. I just need
Right.
to choose. And I felt like there was always just a little like voice in the back of my head, like, you need to be bolder, you need to be in front of the camera. I always was behind. I always was really technical. Like, to this day, it sustains me because being
Hmm.
technical still is what keeps me working. But
Hmm.
I just, that one extra like oomph that I needed in my tool belt, I kept kind of putting off. Working on
Hmm.
my words, working on my camera presence, or taking acting classes. Like, I just kept putting it to the side. And because it was outside my comfort zone.
So it was disguised as preparation,
Mhm.
but it was really
It
procrastination.
was absolutely procrastination.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And I would think that I didn't fit the mold because of my hair. I grew up, I'm Haitian American. I grew up in a Haitian household, and we straightened our hair. We permed it. I had my first perm when I was in second grade for my
Wow.
first communion. Okay.
Oh,
How old are
wow.
you in second grade? Like 8, 7 or 8?
Right.
Yes, like I grew up with my hair permed. And then in college, when the natural hair movement had just begun, I said, why not? And I didn't big chop it. I like grew it out, cut, grew it out, cut. And my afro to this day is my superpower. It's what landed me my first national commercial.
Wow. Wow. That's so interesting. So being in a space where you didn't see yourself kind of empowered you to learn
Mhm.
more about yourself
Had
and
to.
to, yeah, you had no choice. And actually you had a choice, but you chose to show up for
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
So, okay, so you find your superpower, you go to LA, you meet your husband, you're part of this national commercial
Hmm.
that's aired on the Super Bowl. Wow, that's really cool. So then after that, where did life take you and where does this flight come in? Of packing your crop tops and your heels.
Oh, okay. Well, we've been packed a crop top in heels. We packed a crop top in heels in June of 2018. The baby,
Oh,
yes, the baby came December of 2020, and
got
then
you.
yeah, so it was just all that's the timeline, and then the national commercial was just the beginning to just finding out more about myself, finding out of how do I take up space.
Hmm.
Because now I'm being now I'm being like sought out because of my hair. Now I'm being sought out because of the decisions I made to walk boldly and how I look, how I speak, my mannerisms, like, this the journey of becoming in front of the camera. That's
Hmm.
the national commercial sparked that and started that. Cause after that, mind you, I was postpartum. Don't forget, the baby was in the commercial with
Right.
me. I'm postpartum.
Right.
I'm also a model because, actor model is just kind of synonymous in LA. But after
Hmm.
that, I booked another national commercial with Torrid. It's a plus size clothing company. And
Hmm.
that commercial aired during the Grammys. And that was my second national commercial. And they enjoyed my work so much from there, they asked me to come back for another shoot. And it was a bathing suit shoot. And I was
Wow.
uncomfortable because I'm postpartum.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was a bathing shoot until I arrived on set and I'm being fitted for a bathing suit. I was like, ooh,
How am I gonna
what?
do this?
was wasn't expecting that. Relax,
Right.
like. But I definitely had to center myself with that one. But fortunately, they gave me like a high waisted thing, so like I felt
Okay.
comfortable. But that ended up being a billboard.
Wow. A billboard. So your insecurity of, oh, I'm not ready for this is exposed to the world on one of the largest outside of social media platforms.
Right? Can you believe it? Like even me saying it right now, I'm like, we've lived a lot of life. We've been through a lot.
Right, right.
Like I've
Wow.
been pushed, like to actually walk boldly, and no one ever made me feel uncomfortable. I was always being taken care of. People always said, "Is this okay? Are you fine? Like, how do you like the makeup? How do you like?" There were people on set who knew how to do my hair. Shout out to the great Ted Gibson. Oh my gosh, he's awesome. Um, but it was just kind of trippy to be celebrated for being who I was. Didn't
Yeah.
have to manipulate my hair, didn't have to put on a ton of makeup. Like sometimes I'm auditioning with no makeup on because I just couldn't be bothered because I'm a mom and I just rolled out of bed. like, like,
Like,
like,
I'm here and that's what you're gonna get.
I'm here and that's what you're gonna get. like
Yeah.
it's I mean, that's something that I would encourage others. I have encouraged others. I'm just like, you have to work for it. I had to show up. I
Mm-hmm.
had to make the self tape. I had to be on time for the callback. Like, it didn't just fall on my lap, but you got to be in it to win it. You have to be putting in the time and like really being intentional. I think intentionality is what makes all the difference. I don't just fall into situations. Like, I follow up. I listen to people. Like, I when I follow up with people, I recall something they said in a previous conversation. They're like, "Hey, how did that thing go?" I'm an active listener. Um, I try to make people feel seen. Um, Sometimes in LA conversations, when you're in a room, people just walk away. Like mid conversation, they'll just walk away, and I'm just,
Because
okay,
they
that was
see
weird.
someone they know or that they want to talk to, or
Right.
yeah.
Right. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that. And it's just, you know, you got to check your ego sometimes. You may think, you can have whatever thoughts, but it's a constant intentionality. It's a constant, you know what? I'm still going to show up. I'm still going to stay true to myself. I'm only me. There's
Mm-hmm.
no point in me trying to be someone else. And we've seen it because we see social platforms, how people show up on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Authenticity is what goes viral. Authenticity is what sets you apart, is what gets you sponsorships. It's what makes you who you are. If people can recall you like, oh, that person from TikTok who does the da 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 da, the one with the
Mm-hmm.
fro and who does the funny dance, or oh, the one that has, you know, this is their slogan and this is how they start a video. Any way that you can set yourself apart is how you see success. And I was just kind of walking in that. I was constantly walking in that throughout this whole journey. Little did I know it's what would have made me successful.
Mm. So, if you could go back to the version of you who was trying to figure it out, new to this city, trying to find your footing, looking for community, like what would you tell them?
I would tell that version of myself, there's only one you. Be confident about that. That's your strong suit. How you speak, how you show up, how you dress, like all of that added up is what makes you you, and it makes you that's how why you should feel empowered. That little thing is what takes you so far. It truly takes you so far. And I would even say genuinely connecting with others and not to get anything from them,
Right.
because I feel like you may see gurus on the internet saying like, hey, when you go to an event, have this in mind and do research on who is going to be there, so when you speak to them you can talk about blah blah blah, and like it kind of feels a little self-serving. It kind of feels
Mm.
like there's an
Yeah.
MO.
Versus actually getting to know the person and building a relationship that can sustain, over time versus what can I get from you in this moment to serve me?
That
I
one.
know that. Yep, that's LA. Not all of LA. I'll
Not
say
all of
that.
LA.
Not all, but in a city where people are following their dream and seeking the next opportunity, sometimes, and it's not just LA, New York could be like this
Mhm.
too. Sometimes when you're in survival mode, you move in a space of lack, and it shows with how you show up when speaking to people and the choices that you make. And I think that's why it's just so common to meet people like that in that kind of city. And I'm sure in other cities too, where people are chasing a dream because everyone's hungry. They want that thing. They want to make it. And then you have people telling them like, "Oh, well, you'll make it when you get to meet this person." It doesn't work like that. It's not that simple. So, yeah, I know that very well.
Can I tell you a quick anecdote with you speaking
Uh-huh.
like that? I worked the BET Awards one
Mm-hmm.
year when I was in LA,
Okay, what
and
year?
it was actually the year I went, 2018. It was June 2018. I flew
Wait, did
in,
I? Because I was working the carpet, but I think it was 2018.
you know,
Yeah. But it's such what were you doing?
I was working with BET International.
Okay, so you were on a different side. Got you.
Yes,
Okay. That's so
but
funny. Small
and
world.
yeah, no, we have to talk about that later.
Uh,
But I was working BET Awards, and there was someone that was trying to overshadow all the other PAs, and they were working overtime, like working double time. And I remember I was in the elevator with our superior and the other PA, and our superior said, "Hey, speaking to me, can you go get the outfit that's on the rack and bring it up to my hotel room?" Sure. All three, like the me and the other PA hop out the elevator. She goes up to her room. I'm going to go get the outfit. This other PA runs to go grab the outfit, snatches it off the rack, and I was like, "Oh no, she told me to do that." And she just like literally knocks me over just to get it up to her, just to be in our superior space. And mind you, our superior had let all the PAs know. It was like a solid six of us or something, 6 to 8 of us working. There were no tickets to BET Awards for us. We were
mm,
just to work and then go
mm,
home.
and go home. Yeah.
So whatever. The girl was working overtime. She snatched the outfit, ran up to go give it to her. I was like, okay, whatever. Like that was weird, but do you go off?
Right.
At the end of everything we had to do, we finally got all of our stars to the red carpet. All the craziness, hullabaloo was over. BET Awards finally started. We were just at the hotel, all the PAs, and everybody was getting ready to go home. I wanted to say goodbye to the person who hired me for the job. So I texted her saying, "Hey, where are you? I just want to say bye." She's like, "Oh, come up to my room." I come up to her room. I say my farewells. She's like, "You did a great job." She was just like, "You know what? Here, take this. I'm not going. Like, I have no interest in going at all. Like, you did good work. You want it? You can go to the awards." She gave me her BET award ticket.
And then you went to the
And
show.
I went to the show. And I went and took her seat, and we had great seats, and I was watching and sat at the BET Awards.
Wow. And that girl that tried to
No,
shine, where
went
did she
home.
go? She
Went
went
home.
home.
She went home. She was sent home. So I say that to say, when you were saying previously, people are stepping over each other, stop like stampeding on each other, trying to make their come up. And listen, what's for you?
Will be yours. Wow. Okay. So I have my thought on what the gift is in the journey. I want to hear yours.
Okay. The gift. Can I refer to the last gift I spoke earlier? I felt like
Yeah.
I felt as though, one, I have a grace with just flowing, navigating with others. Um, but I would say chasing purpose.
Hmm.
Having the gift and the eyes to know that that was always the goal all along.
Hmm.
It was always to
Mm-hmm.
chase purpose. And purpose isn't one thing, it's a journey.
It's a journey, and it
It,
shows up differently.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
like, and purpose, I feel like is embedded in community, it's embedded in faith, it's embedded in alignment because you can be at the right place at the wrong time, and that's the wrong
So
place.
true. Yeah, so true. Yeah.
So being rooted in that is what opened so many doors for me. And just for me, life didn't stop with the baby.
Right.
The baby didn't stop anything. As a matter of fact, it multiplied things.
Hmm. Wow. That's amazing to have that as a gift too, because so many people and like you've experienced, you thought it was over. Uh, and I think millennials, we were fed that narrative that if you have a baby too young, like that's it. You can't pursue anything else. And
Right.
to see that that actually wasn't the case for you because you're on this said journey and everything that's for you will be yours and it ends up working out how it's supposed to. And I want to add to that because I see your journey as having the gift of favor. I feel like throughout this experience of leaving New Jersey to move to LA, not knowing what's next, and being open, being curious about what could be, finding community and leading to just new opportunities, right? Like showing up in spaces that you couldn't imagine, especially considering the amount of time you were there. And when you were there is at a time where Los Angeles was shut down. So it's like you could easily look at it like, oh no, I came to LA at the wrong time. And I know that you had the baby during the pandemic, but even after, you then have this opportunity that supposed to be like maybe local, maybe media. No, it ends up being press around on Super Bowl, then going global and leading to so many more opportunities that then granted you space to explore more opportunities in front of the camera. And that led you to then having a billboard. I mean, with favor, you don't have to chase anything. And throughout your journey, you didn't chase anything.
That's so real.
Down to the last story you shared about getting this supervisor's outfit or whatever it is to bring it upstairs to their room. Someone else running, literally chasing after, oh, see me. I want you to know that I exist and I want to bring this thing to that person so that I can level up and be known. But little did they know that doing that would then lead them to going back home while you, who didn't have to go upstairs, you were able to stay where you were, enjoy the whatever you were doing at the time, to still getting tickets to go see the BET Awards. Like you did not have to chase the gifts that were given, the opportunities given to you. You were present, and while you didn't know what was next, you found a way to get grounded in understanding who you are. And because you know who you are, that's why you were able to show up in those spaces and why you were granted the opportunities you were, because God knew that you would be able to handle what was given to you. So that's a gift.
Wow, that felt like a sermon. You wrapped it up so well. That felt like a sermon. Yes. Won't he do
it's
it? Won't he
it's
do
just
it?
so clear, and I think it's important for people to recognize, like, even when you're in a space of wanting that next big thing or just wanting to level up, you have to be patient and just really focus on getting to know who you are and whose you are, you know? So it's nice to see that through your story. And yeah, I appreciate you just sharing all the things. And now you're a mom of three. Congrats. That's
Three.
amazing.
A wife. It's crazy. Life's a whirlwind. A
Yeah.
whirlwind.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. I would love to have you give us a question for reflection so that we can think about your journey while also reflecting on our lives and um, utilizing that for our next step. And that might look different for everyone. So, what question would you like to give us?
What's in your hands?
Hmm. What's in your hands?
What's in your hands right now? What can you do right now? Because I'll give an example. People want to be the next social media star. They want the fancy camera. They want the fancy lens, the fancy editing. Like, they want all this fancy stuff. But guess what? There's an iPhone in your hand right now. And you can do a lot with this here iPhone. You don't need that
Mhm.
fancy Canon with a lens. You can get started with this thing right here. So, what's in your hands right now? Do you want to be a writer? Do you want to, I don't know, study something that you can learn on YouTube University? There's something in your hands right now. You can be jumping at it right now. What's that thing that's been nitpicking at you in the back of your brain all this time? Oh, I should have been wrote that script. Oh, I should have, taken that opportunity. I should have taken that class. What was that thing that you should have did that you're still sitting on? Because it's still there waiting for you.
Yeah, it's not too late.
Mm-mm.
It's
Never
not
too
too
late.
late. Wow, that's a good one. I mean, it's definitely something to reflect on for sure. Well, thank you so much for your time, for sharing your story, and I'm excited to see what comes next, considering all this favor that you have, especially with your little ones. It's going to be exciting to see them growing up. So, congratulations on everything, and thank you again.
Thank you. I had a
Yeah.
blast here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. Well, this was another episode of Gifted and Guided. Stay tuned for a new guest next week. And until then, I'm your host, Nye. And Yolande, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you. That's it for today's episode of Gifted and Guided. If this episode spoke to you, please subscribe, share with a friend, and drop a comment because I love hearing how you're figuring it out too. Until next time, remember you are gifted, you are guided, and you're not doing this alone. All right, talk to you soon.